morning, Belvedere Bucks. Today is February 7th, 2024. I'm Elisa Garnacha.
And I'm KJ Thompson.
Bringing you your weekly news. Good morning, BNN. Today, me and KJ will be bringing in a new cast, so there'll be some new faces throughout BNN.
Hi everybody, I am Mr. Riley, and I am happy to introduce our new cast of BNN for semester 2.
Hi, my name is Gabriel. I'm going to be doing editing for BNN.
Hit the ground running, we have our...
I'm Cheyenne. I'm going to be a sports anchor.
Next up, we have...
Hi, I'm Nolan, and I will be doing specials.
And next up, we have...
Hi, I'm Zeke, and I do lights.
And next up, we have...
I'm Griffin Wendell, and I'm doing general news anchor.
And next up, we have...
I'm Gage, and I do script writing.
And next up, we have...
Hi, I'm Caden, and I'm a script writer.
And finally, we have...
My name is Trevor Edmond, and I'm the camera guy.
KJ, it feels good to be back, doesn't it?
Yes, Elisa, it feels great to be back. We missed everyone so much.
Now on to today's news.
Tomorrow we will have financial aid for seniors that will be held in the library from 5:30 to 7. See you then.
Our Scholastic Bowl team on January 31st won conference champs. David Berlosi got first all-conference, and Donovan Jensen placed ninth all-conference. Good job, guys.
And last week we had Tom Farley at BHS. He came here to talk about mental health awareness. Now cut to an interview with him. Hey Bucks, I'm KJ.
And I'm Eliza, and we're here with...
Tom Farley.
It's so great to have you here. This is such a great opportunity for us and for our channel to have you here and answering some questions. So our first question that we have for you is, what is your goal by spreading this story of your brother?
Oh, great question. Chris, even though he's known as this comedian, the Saturday Night comedian, and the movies that he made, the most amazing thing that I saw Chris through the years is whether it was in high school, college, summer camp we went to, and when he worked in Chicago at Second City and started his career, and then SNL, even in Hollywood, he always had this core group of friends, this ensemble that he was always around. As here, I was always struggling, with relationships and trying to make friends. It was so easy for him, and I think because he just found this level of trust and people that accepted him, and it was amazing to see that and what he could do, when he had that as a foundation. And so, I go out and just showing and telling people about my brother. Everyone's like, oh, comedian, great. And it's like, no, this is really at its core what he was like when he had a true, ensemble of peers around him that he knew what it felt like to be trusted and accepted, and allowed him to be his authentic self. That's and look where it took him, to the heights of his career in entertainment, and everyone can experience that. And it's a great. I still see Chris as just my brother, and I see him in that respect, like what he was able to do to be that authentic self. And so, knowing that that's possible, and knowing that it took me years to figure that out for myself, but I did, and using Chris as a model. So I think that's pretty much my goal, is to really spread that message, is that people are amazing when they're allowed to be their authentic self, be in a trusting, accepting environment. We can do amazing things, but we can't do it alone. We have to have our core ensemble, our tribe. Yeah.
Definitely. And how did you become so comfortable with telling your brother's story? I know it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, no, that's, I don't know what it was, but one of the first things I knew, because, losing a sibling to this disease, losing this sibling to in such a public way, it came at all of us in our family so quickly and so powerfully. I knew that I needed to talk about it. That was a lot of grief for me to carry around, and I needed to get out and talk. And also it was, because of Chris's, core audience's name, I knew that I could get people's, attention, hopefully, just prevent one person from going down that same road. But it was really more like I needed to talk about it for my grief, and it was hard because talking about that, it's putting yourself out there is hard. And what I learned, and this is what I learned from Chris and my brothers, is to be, one of my favorite themes that I talk about is being comfortable being uncomfortable. Life is never going to be comfortable. There's always going to be something that's uncomfortable. So certain aspects of it is learning to be comfortable there. And for me, stepping out on stage, there's a reason why adults, fear public speaking. I still do. It's still not a normal thing, but as soon as I walk out on stage, I'm like, I got that, it's so familiar to me, and even though as it's always going to be uncomfortable, I'm like, I got this, I can do this. I know I've been there before. And so that allows me to just keep pushing it, because now I kept pushing myself out there. And as I like to say, I use it so many terms, whether it's recovery, whether it's being creative and innovative, whether it's just being human, all of those things exist on the other side of fear, and you have to get through that fear, because the fear is the biggest thing that keep us from doing everything. It paralyzes us, and I learned that myself. And I'm like, and the more I can get beyond that fear and self-doubt, oh my gosh, it's amazing, and it makes you feel amazing. And that's kind of what I want to, I want other people to experience too. So
how did you end up incorporating humor into your presentations?
That's a great question. I guess I had no other language. I mean, I knew it was a powerful way to connect to people, done in the right way. There's a lot, we were very good in my family using humor as a communication tool, as a connecting tool, but we also used it, there was also, when you use it too much or in the wrong way, it become a trauma, a coping mechanism, as I said in my talk today, that turns into a trauma. And it's also, it doesn't allow you to connect. Self-depreciating humor can be useful, and it can manage your emotions until you use it too much, and then it has the opposite effect. Using humor inappropriately can push people away, when you had the goal was to connect and bring them closer. The wrong kind of humor can push people away. So it was a delicate mix, but I also knew that there was just powerful. It's one of the first emotions we learn, and how we cope with a lot of our things that happen in life. So I know there's a lot of power in humor, but it took me a long time to figure out, kind of even from my own way, how to use it properly.
So how can us as students at BHS spread the awareness of mental health, and for other students and other people to not be scared to come and talk to us, or scared to go and talk to a trusting adult?
Well, it is, like I said, it's that connection. It's being that first responder. Even, it starts with yourself. Like, do I feel like I'm, isolating? Then, self-care is an, it's an art, but it's also, we talk about it all the time now. It's important, but also to be aware of the people that look like, as I said, these are diseases of isolation. So who amongst your peers look like they're isolation? And all you have to do is be that first responder and connect and talk, but understand that there are so many support structures, and it doesn't have to be the ones that we taught, like you got to go to your parents, or you got to go to, there's always somebody out there, like, you spend most of your day as as a student in this building. Do you know how many support structures there are in this building? From administrators to teachers to guidance counselors to just any adult to peers. There are support structures everywhere, and I think that we need to be more and more comfortable kind of utilizing those things and knowing that it's okay, because when you don't, you're in isolation and you can't, you cannot heal on your own. You just can't,
My next question is, what is your role in Rosecrans?
Good question. So I am a professional relations coordinator, which means I go into schools, into communities, hospitals, and other clinics, and when somebody needs, and whether it's adolescents or adults, need addiction help. We have down in Rockford two wonderful residential treatment facilities that have been around for 100 years. So try to get people in there, but mostly like when they come out, where what outpatient. It's really kind of I work as a connector. It's not just getting people to Rosecrans, but understanding also, it's up in Wisconsin, a lot of times they can't get down to Rockford. So I'm like, I got to find where can they get help, and which is an amazing thing, because since my brother, died, I've been advocating and talking into communities about this disease and these diseases, and that's been great. I've helped a lot of people, but during COVID, I said, like, what's coming at the end of COVID? Well, a lot of people I have isolated, and people, are going to leave this pandemic with, behaviors and addictions they didn't have going in, so they're going to need help. There's this coming storm, and the more I heard myself talk about that, the more I said, like, I got to do more than just talk about it. I need to help get people into help and into therapy where and when they need it. And so this opportunity came up to be an outreach rep in Wisconsin for Rosecrans. But again, I'm still going out into communities. But it feels good to balance out that, talking about it, advocating. Now I can, like, when people need help, we have resources, and I get to talk about those. And we have there's some amazing, not just with Rosecrans, but with a lot of the peer groups of referral partners that we work with. There's help out there everywhere, and it's great just to talk about it and get people to the help they need. So.
Do you have anything else for the BHS and BNN?
No, yeah, of course I do. I can talk all day. I truly appreciate another reason why I do this is, Chris, my little brother just loved kind of, being, this was his he loved this. He loved the high school age. That's where I think his emotional growth stopped as well. No, that's not true at all. But I feel like when I go into school, I come in with Chris. He's with me, and it keeps him alive. He's as alive as I, and as he ever has been. And the more I get to talk about it and talk about myself, that relationship with my little brother has gotten better in the years, actually, since he's passed away, because I still talk about him. He's still part of it. I'm carrying on his recovery, all those things. So it keeps him kind of with me, but it also, I understand, it gives me a little piece of, like, I get it. He loved just whipping teens and young adults into a frenzy, and I get a little bit of it, but I understand where it's like, because then I get to leave the building. It's not my problem anymore.
Well, that's all the questions we have for you today. We're so thankful for you to come and do this with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
It means a lot.
It means a lot.
Well, I appreciate it, and I love the fact that schools now are really, maybe it's a blessing of COVID. It's like we saw what the downside is of this, and what I love more than anything and I saw it, started with my kids, is not only is your peers and just amazing, obviously, resiliency, the fact that you got through COVID and you're right back at it. I love that resiliency. But I always tell people but don't take that resiliency for granted. We as adults have to support that and let you kind of drive it, let that resiliency kind of take, really support that. But also, I love the advocacy. I love that you're speaking out any way I can feed both the advocacy and support your resiliency. I'm all for it, and because I'm seeing some amazing things when I come in high schools now that I didn't see so much, when my kids were going through it a little bit. But now it's just, and to unleash that is great. And what's great about the schools is it's in this environment where you've still got all these support structures and like what comes next. I'm very hopeful because of what's going on in schools now, and I want to be a part of that. And I can't wait to see what's going to come out the other end. It's going to be as tough as the last couple of years were. The next couple of years for this population is going to be, I think, amazing. Thanks to all the work you're doing and having me in and being part of it. I love that. So thank you. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for us, and it was nice to hear more of the background of why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Because not a lot of people.
Better understanding. About it.
Totally.
All right.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Well, that's all we
Thanks
got
so
for
much.
you.
Thank you, BNN.
See ya. Take care.
Hey Bucks, welcome back to your BNN Sports segment.
So to start off today's news, we had one of our boys bowlers go to state. So shout out to Chad Morgan, everybody.
Girls basketball will tip off Freeport here at BHS on February 8th. JV starts at 5 and varsity will start around 6:30.
And we had our boys basketball team take the win over the Harlem Huskies with a 60-point win after going into overtime.
Girls bowling has regionals this week at Don Carter and start bowling at 1:30. So come on by and support your Lady Bucks.
They also placed 5th in the Buccaneer tournament that happened last weekend.
That's all we have for you today. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.